Okay.
So yeah, we'll see if we can get some comic relief with that.
Okay.
Other than that, we can we'll probably touch up on the Nelly Ludacris battle. I didn't really see it,
Oh, I didn't see it.
but it might be, so maybe we'll touch up on that just for a little bit, and
shit.
we should be good. So then anything else that you guys come up with, just throw that shit out there.
All right.
Yeah, let's sound check that music.
Yeah.
That's perfect right there. That's perfect. That's perfect. I think Trip fell. We're waiting for Trip to get back up.
Life alert, fam.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Can the nigga get up? I can't get up. Oh, man. Maybe that nigga dancing.
Maybe
he's dancing. He's breaking it down.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there you go.
Yo, we was worried about you, Trip. We thought you had fell. Like you can't do like virtual CPR, nigga. Like
I'll just go live before it comes back in. Okay. Is that cool? I'll just go live? Or are we waiting?
Well, it's gonna start over, so you may as well start the beat over first.
Alright, we're live.
Yes, y'all. You are now tuned into the Melodrama Podcast, sponsored by Freshly Broken, Unified Records. I go by the name of Speaker. I'm joined by my brethren JG, Trip, Dima on the 28s and 29s. Fellas, what the fuck is up? In the place to be.
Yo.
In the place to be.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So like, man, how's everybody been doing, dude? It's a new day, I don't know what has happened in life, since the last time we've connected, but just wanted to just do a quick check-in, see how everybody's doing.
Right.
Let's start with you, Dima. What's going on with you? How you doing, bro?
I don't know. Kind of like last week, but the weather's nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you.
Enjoying that, like looking forward to summer breeze and shit.
Word up. Yeah. Okay.
Opened the windows this week.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
nice.
That definitely happened here.
Drank a bottle of vodka this week.
Chateau Easy, yeah, for sure, bro. Just easy. What's going on with you, JG?
Shit, fam. I'm just chill. Oh shit. My phone updating, dog. That mean all my damn autocorrect screwed up. I can't do this. I have to retype all my little slang and whatever. Nah, I'm chilling, man. Just trying to figure some things out. Oh, hey, I misspoke last week, man. It wasn't the son that shot Ahmaud Arbery. It wasn't the dad that shot Ahmaud Arbery. It was the son.
Okay.
So I misspoke on that shit.
No, everything I appreciate it.
Pretty much true. I just wanted to throw that retraction out there. But
no.
Good, man. I'm dog. I actually spent, man, a good part of each morning this week talking to college coaches for the boy, man. He got big schools calling. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Now you got Florida State, Maryland, and Wake Forest.
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
I think I saw some of those, like
Virginia Tech. There's a bunch of them, dog. That shit crazy.
So I would only imagine that you guys, as a family, there's some different conversations that you guys are having prior to meeting with these, recruiters or whomever they may be. But that's just a very interesting piece because, like, the good thing is his parents are his parents, so he's got some really astute, just parents that are aware, and y'all know what the fuck is going on. So it's like, it'll be interesting. And I know you always talk about how you spread love, like pretty much like I got a whole bunch of nephews.
Right.
So like, it's good. I'm glad that brothers like you are out there, because not only are you looking out for your son, you're paying it forward to other young men who, you happen to be impacting their lives.
Dude, you know what the shocker in that is too, Speak? We always hear so much bad shit about these kids. But dog, all these boys, they homies.
Yeah.
They homies. Like, you know, a couple of them, they work out with James. So
Mm-hmm.
they here at the crib chilling. A coach will call one of them, and then that coach got to talk to all of them. Yo, I'm here with this dude. I'm here with that. They looking out for each other, dog. They homies.
Wow, that's
it's
amazing.
the adults involved in the shit that's got it all fucked up.
That's a very
You know
interesting take.
Yeah.
You never, you never really get insight of what that piece looks like, and that's really dope, man.
Yeah,
that's
man.
What's up.
Yeah, no, that shit. Them cats is cool. So,
man, that's what's good.
You know.
That's what's up. What's up with you, Trip?
Nothing.
Man, why Trip looking like y'all forced him to do the podcast this morning, man?
The funny thing is,
no, not just
the funny thing is, bro, like when he responds like that to me, I'm like, I just feel so much love. Like I'm not
that beer, my nigga. What the fuck?
That's a Mountain Dew.
All right. I was going to say, we got to go check on the homie, man. He's going through a depression or something.
Like, he mad at us, nigga. We just said hi. We said good morning. He's like, what's up with you, Trip? What the fuck you mean, what's up?
Sips beer.
The fuck is up with you?
Man, you know, like, what the hell?
But growing up with Trip is like, literally, that's actually a good response. That's that's really a positive response, bro. Like, you know how like when you hang out with your friends, whether it be your loved ones for so long, you begin to speak their language. I think I'm definitely fluent in Trip.
All right.
So I'll translate. What that means is, fellas, what the fuck is up? I'm so happy to be here with you guys this morning.
That's what that is. All right.
You see how he just shakes his head like, see, I did. Oh man, but everything is here, man. I think I've just been trying to just continue to shift my perspective, because I think I spent probably too much time on, this shit is fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be the economy or just other people, just different decisions that are being made, and then losing different people. You know, I have been able to, I think, I keep trying to shift my perspective, because for me, if I get in that mode of like, this shit is fucked up, then that becomes like my sole focus, and then that's never good for anybody, especially people that like you, want to hang out with you. You're like negative Nelly all the fucking time.
Right.
Like, yo, check out this funny video. Ain't shit fucking fun to laugh about. Motherfuckers down out here, B. Like, nah. Like, I don't want to do that to my friends and family. So.
Damn, I get in that mode though sometimes.
Yeah, dude. It's like, but the good thing is, I think before I wasn't able to check myself when I know I was going too far. Now maybe it's like getting older and being more mature. But I can think like the younger me, probably even like 3-4 years ago, y'all would be like, speak, we can't record, but y'all would record. Like we need to say and speak. So like I think there's a sign of maturity there, but yeah, because it's gotta maintain that perspective, man.
Dude, that shit is fam, you think Misery actually really does enjoy company?
Hell yeah, look at Facebook.
Yeah, I believe so. I actually believe.
Because what you're saying is kind of the opposite.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. I believe that depression is actually addicting. I think being depressed can become an addiction, because it's like you could tell me, all right, speak. Yeah, man, I know how you feel, and then like. My crying out for help would be like, no, you don't. Nobody can understand my feelings, yada, yada, yada. When you're like, okay, yeah, I know I don't know exactly how you're feeling, but I can empathize. No, you can't, and that's where that misery loves company. Yeah, man, I believe that's true. I believe that's true. And I believe that depression that comes with misery, it sometimes can become addictive. And that's why if you don't have like no real support system, like it's some people that are not doing well right now, because of, and it's like, whether that be, how sometimes if you've been friends with somebody long enough on social media, you can kind of tell what kind of mood they're in. There are other people on social media that play it close to the vest where you never know anything. But certain people, that misery loves company type, for sure. You know when they're off.
I think you got to be a real bitter person to want somebody to be miserable with you.
That's what I'm saying, fam. And then
That's a great point. That's a great point, bro.
And if you ever been miserable, I don't really want no other miserable. Like that's
I
more misery,
don't want nobody
my nigga.
to feel like that. Like,
right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And if they do, I don't want you around me, motherfucker. I got my own misery. Fuck, I need your misery for.
Yeah, but like, you know how Diddy's like, tell your friends to meet my friends. Tell your misery to meet my misery, and we could all be miserable.
Exactly. Like, fam, you stay your miserable ass in your
That's
miserable
how you get
house.
shit like that's how you get shit like mass shootings and trench coat mafia.
Yes. Yep. And there's science behind that shit, man, because that behavior is like, okay, since people can't feel my pain, I'm going to make them feel my pain in another way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, it's crazy, man. It's one of those things where you really just think about that. I'm a big mental health junkie. So like, just the shit that I've learned and researched about that, dude. Like, I'll never forget I had a kid, man. And maybe I said this on the podcast before, but I had a kid I used to work with when I was doing like mental health services when I was in Georgia. And he told me, he was like, I told him I was from Wisconsin. He was like, fuck yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, and like at the time I had met him, he was at home because
that's what we call a red flag.
Yo, and when I met him, he was at home because I think it was like perceived school threats. And working with somebody, that was probably one of my biggest lessons, because I had because you're never left on your own. You get to consult with the psychologist and those like true experts. So the knowledge that I was able to get when I had to consult with the psychiatrist were just like, yo, this is how you need to work with him, because he was trying to bait me into it. Like literally one time I was on the phone with him, and Georgia, they got these little narrow ass roads. One time I talked to him and he told me he was going to like end it. Right. And I was on the phone with this guy for an hour, and then like talking to him, and he was like, well, I am watching the NBA finals, so I can promise you I won't hurt myself until after the NBA finals. Not even kidding. So, like, talk about
sound like a LeBron fan.
Yo, so it's just one of those crazy things, man.
And you did that.
Well, what I did was
you're a special kind of motherfucker, dude.
What I did, I was like, okay, even if whether because with mental health, you can never say, oh, they're just bullshitting.
Right.
You gotta take everything to be authentic. It's true. I was like, okay, cool. That buys me time. So after that, man, I hit up all the right people. Yo, we got to help this kid and help this kid now. And the NBA finals are just a luxury of affording us some additional time to get in and help them, bro. But yeah, dude, so that misery loves company. Some of it is like you said, Trip, just flat out bitterness, but others it's just that chemical imbalance. So I think this is a good way to start the show as we jump into the mellow portion of the show. Because the opposite of misery, the opposite of all of that shit is love. So like I came across, I talked to a lot of friends and family that inspired me, but then I was thinking about this one song. It's called Pistola on Mos Def's album, the one Ecstatic. And ironically, for some reason, that album, you can't purchase it, you can't stream it, but it's on YouTube.
I stream it.
Maybe I can.
You
maybe
be stealing though.
Maybe
fam.
it's you know what? Maybe it's only on Tidal. I don't have.
No, it's on Tidal. I pay for Tidal.
Oh, okay.
So maybe Mos Def is like, I only want my shit on Tidal, because you can go to the Amazon store, it's there, but you can't buy it. I actually tried to purchase the vinyl yesterday, and I couldn't get the vinyl. I go to Spotify, it's there, but you can't access it. So maybe Trip, he did one of those, I'm only gonna have my music on on Tidal. Because think about it, Jay-Z had his music only on Tidal until his birthday last year. Then he was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, Prince was gonna do that too. But fam, maybe most a little unrealistic, fam. I fuck with most.
Yeah.
But fam, you like an exclusive level nigga? I don't think most like an exclusive level nigga, man.
So okay, so let's dive into that, and then we'll dive into the subject, because I'm a big fan of Mos Def.
Me too.
So what I think about Mos Def, and you know, being a fan of Mos Def and being a fan of like Dave Chappelle, and these are entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mos Def, since he's not at the level of Dave Chappelle, he did the same thing Dave did, but he did it his own way. But since he's at a lower scale, it doesn't make as many waves. Cause like I remember, like most, like he for the most part, like doesn't even live in the United States.
Yeah, he was like in exile for a minute or something. I know. Remember, he had to cancel some shows because they wouldn't let him come back.
They wouldn't come back, and him and Kweli was doing some stuff together. So I think Mos is just one of those things. You know, he's very, very upfront about his Islamic faith. Mm-hmm. So I think there's something about how he moves in the music industry that's very much. It seems like it's like, no, I'm about my art. He seems to be one of those artsy artists that really is about the art. And maybe he's got, I mean, he's been making money. He makes money from movies and everything else, where maybe he was one of those smart ones that be like, okay, I know this hip hop shit is not my bread and butter. And now I can continue to be selfish with my music while I'm getting this acting gig or that acting gig.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe that keeps his music pure. And I know, like, every time I hear him on shit, dude, he's still like deadly.
No, he ill on the mic.
Yeah.
There ain't no question about that.
Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna quote some lyrics that he says, which brings us back to the topic of love. So on the song Pistol, he says, "If you were to fall in love, then where would you stand and begin with?" And then he goes, "And when the falling is done, how bad did you plan to get injured? And if you land on your feet, does that count as a fall or a jump? And do you feel like a fall when the hands that pushed you are holding you up?" I thought that like little sequence of bars was just so dope.
That's crazy.
And it was pretty much like, you know how you do the trust exercise where you fall back, and then if you trust that person, they hold you up. So like,
or vice versa. Did he mean get pushed but then held back up?
Exactly, that too. And then when you flip that metaphor, it's like, does that mean that somebody who you can truly love can hurt you?
Hurt you, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I thought that shit was really, really cool. And from that piece of that verse, I wanted to ask you guys just to, if you were to like, let's just say our children and our children, our older children, let's just say it's a kid of ours who's maybe 3, 4, and they walked up to you and they asked you, what is love? What does love mean? How would you describe love? So like, what answer, I'm interested to hear from you guys. What answer would you give to somebody if they asked you that? What does love really mean to you?
If that's what it is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shit. Some bullshit.
He said some bullshit. I'm gonna take that.
It's similar to being drunk. It's a chemically induced state of euphoria.
Okay.
Man.
Word.
You can ironically get a similar feeling like from chocolate, they say, but I forget the name of that chemical.
Oh, that's why women like chocolate when
they like the chocolate, fam.
Because we ain't shit. So like, fine. I guess at least I get some similar feeling. Give me
chocolate,
chocolate, and a vibrator.
You know, when my kids were little and asked me that question, my only answer could be that's the reason why I do what I do for you. That's all I told them.
That's
you know
dope.
What I mean? Because
that's dope. I like that.
The intricacies of it, obviously, to a child, they won't understand.
Yeah.
You know, and you try to relate it to their life. Like, when you're scared, where you go? To you and mama.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what love is. When who's the person you happiest to see? And they'd be like, mama. Then I'd be like, man, fuck you though. But I understand. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
that's what love is in its purest form.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the shit with a man and a woman.
Yeah.
And
I get different.
That's interesting what you said before you get to that one. So love, it says noun on Google, and number one, an intense feeling of deep affection. So, and then it says in quotes, babies fill parents with feeling of love. So that's what you just described right there.
Wow. That's a very good point.
You think about it, man. I always tell people, Dima, that I think them singers and shit, some fucking liars.
Okay.
I don't think unconditional love can exist between a man and a woman. However,
really, that's interesting.
However, unconditional love, in every instance that I've ever seen it, it was always between a parent and a child. And more specifically, from the parent to the child. Because sometimes the kids don't fuck with their parents. You know what I mean? True. But now if you have a parent that doesn't fuck with their child, first thing all of us gonna think is something wrong with that parent. How the fuck you don't like your own kid? What the hell wrong with you? Weird. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's tragic. It's terrible. It had to be something go wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? But dude, you think about that speak. I was in the delivery room.
Yeah.
Why the fuck I feel like that, man? This motherfucker just got to Earth.
Right.
He ain't done shit for me.
Yeah.
He might be the lousiest motherfucker to ever walk this planet. I don't even know.
Don't know yet. But
I know if a motherfucker would have dropped him in that delivery room, I would have set it off.
Oh, there's gonna be some constant pressures and
repercussions. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, dog.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. When I'm saying the literal definition of the word unconditional. It don't matter what you do.
Word up.
I'm not gonna change that. And I'll give you another example.
That's a great point.
Since you brought the homie up earlier, Jeffrey Dahmer. Y'all might not remember this. I remember watching this trial, right? I happened to be down there when he was down there. I met his pops. That's a whole nother weird ass story. But dog,
holy shit!
When you watching his trial, and his daddy is up there talking, that motherfucker crying like a baby. Dog, your son, fucking Jeffrey Dahmer, the most evil motherfucker ever walked this planet. But that's his baby boy.
Yeah, man.
And the motherfucker up there, like, why is he crying? Because that's my son. I know, I'm sorry, I'm embarrassed. I didn't raise him to do this. I tried to woo. But the motherfucker was still sad that his son was in the situation. Nigga, that's because that's your fucking son, man. And you can't explain it. Now, if I was me and Jeffrey Dahmer was Jeanette Dahmer, my wife, I probably wouldn't even fucking been there. Just keeping it in the buck, I probably wouldn't even been there. Like, I didn't see the baby there. I'm sorry. But I probably wouldn't even been there.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really good point, dude. I don't know. I think that's a very good point when it comes to like love and unconditional love.
The things that she did to make you feel that way, those are the conditions. And if you don't believe those are the conditions, let her stop and see what happens.
Word. Wow, that's a good point.
Dig what I'm saying?
I definitely do. Dima, what would you say? Somebody asked you.
Dima loved his daughter unconditionally, because if that would have been the wife, that might have been an argument. I'm on the podcast. What the hell are you doing? Right?
Well, the thing is, it wasn't.
Baby girl come in there. It's all good.
It was an argument with the baby girl. I ate her breakfast.
You in trouble, dog.
Hold up, that's not unconditional love, Dad. Like, come on, bro.
You in trouble. I told you it's from the parent to the kid. See, the kid will whoop a parent ass.
She was like, baby girl was like, I don't give a fuck what Dad is doing. He gonna get this work.
Where's my breakfast? I had to turn the mic down.
My daughter found out I ate her ice cream last night. She gonna bust it here too.
Baby girl was like, I do not care. I don't give a fuck what Dad is doing. He know what's up.
And he's smiling. And he's smiling. That's what I'm saying.
Number 2 on Google, it says a great interest and pleasure in something. So his love for football. That's the other kind of love, I guess.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. What about you, Trip? What would you say? What would you say love is? How would you describe that?
No, I think JG hit it on the head, man. I think a lot of times people want to take love and change it based on situations or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The same way love is an emotion. I mean,
Yeah.
and it doesn't become a different emotion because the person that you happen to begin loving is your child or the person that you marry or the person that you date.
Right.
It's still the same emotion. Where like people want to make it be like different. And I think a lot of times when you're talking about the romantic love or what people consider the romantic love, I think a lot of times we got people that are misidentifying things like infatuation or lust as love.
Okay.
Because as JG was saying, like the way you love your kid, like you don't just fall in love with somebody like that.
That's a learned thing.
You know, and like right, you know, in like a couple of days, and even like what JG was saying is like, you know, that love that
You're transforming. Hold on.
I think
Hang
you're.
on
Hold on one sec, Trip. We can't hear you, bro.
Pay your Wi-Fi bill, fam.
Oh, he's really transforming.
Tron, bro.
Do the
He's
right
like-
thing and shit. Malcolm.
What's up, dude? He's probably making a wonderful point right now.
He's spitting the truth, and the internet.
Like, yeah, like you see how the eyes is closed right there? Like he feeling that, yo. Like,
is he still talking? Trip, you're gonna have to repeat all that shit.
all of this, and we can't hear him. I'm like, I'm gonna text him like, we can't hear you. You're transforming.
He's still talking.
Oh, we are missing a beautiful dissertation. We can't.
Fam was like
damn,
on
he
the
got-
Shakespearean soliloquy and
And
shit.
it was so good it dropped out.
We don't hear
Yo.
nothing.
He's gonna join back in.
Oh,
But that's so crazy because I mean, you know what? I think love is learned, and unconditional love. Can you like, so like if you have unconditional love for your child, who else do you love unconditionally? Is that the only thing?
Yeah.
Is that the only person?
and that's my thing, dude. And as we're waiting for Trip to come back in, like I would consider myself, you know, if I was to throw some cliches on myself and wear them, I would consider myself like a hopeless romantic. I would consider myself like a sucker for love. Like I love love, and like I love being in love.
We could tell by your robe.
You know,
Right.
listen. You know what? I was like, I'm about to go pod.
And the matching Kango.
Man,
Listen,
yeah,
I'm just trying to listen.
Just kind of making
Sometimes,
curvy, fam.
yeah, like yo, I'm just here to set the vibe, yo. Like, so I'm always gonna set the vibe. That's just what I do.
This shit just looked like a scene from Boogie Nights or some shit, bro. I don't know.
Listen, we're all about.
Don't it, Demon know what I'm talking about.
Yo, next week I'm waiting
Dog
for
waiting on this next scene. And shit.
I'm waiting for the strobe light to get installed. And listen, it's gonna be lit, yo.
That'd be dope.
Hey, and even how I introduce the podcast gonna change. I'm like, all right, boys and girls.
This dude.
It's gonna get like mad corny. Like, yeah.
That sounds a little R. Kelly-ish, dude.
Yeah, kind of do, fam. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not
boys
coming next week. I'm not coming next week.
Not boys and girls that way.
Yo.
But like
My fault, man. I didn't log into the Wi-Fi. At night, I log off the Wi-Fi because my son be gaming.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, so everything I try to do on Wi-Fi lags because
Gotcha.
you know, dude on the game like shooting everybody and shit. So I forgot to log back in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was earlier that I was on Zoom without the Wi-Fi, so that was the data plan in the rain, I guess. But
yeah,
all I was saying was that I said people confuse lust and infatuation with love or as love. and I think that's where a lot of people get their definition of love, because like JG and Demon was saying, like love is it's a learned thing, especially for kids, and that's one thing we used to teach when I was teaching abstinence back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know, people would have babies thinking that they would have something to love them, and honestly, that newborn baby is the most selfish thing in the world, because all that newborn baby is really concerned about is getting their needs met.
Right.
And your kids grow to love you from you meeting their needs and demonstrating love and what love is.
Word.
So I don't. I mean, to have to explain love to a 2-year-old. You said a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. I would give the most simplest answer as I could, but over the years, it's just something where you show them that you love them, and you show them that you love them through sacrifices.
Yeah.
And you know, shit like that.
And this is why I brought it there to that age, because JG, you also made another good point, and the point that you made was, you know, hey, all these singers, artists, y'all lying about love. So I think, and then because I love how the conversation's going, because I thought it was going to go a different way, but I appreciate the authenticity when you said that. Then you brought in unconditional love, right?
Right.
And the fact that, like, you know, we were talking about a few podcasts ago about when I was really pushing the envelope, right? Talking about monogamy is not natural, and talking about all those different things where you guys like, okay, he's psycho. He really, like, quarantine done got to him. Like,
right.
But like
yeah, we was concerned, fam.
The point being is, it brings it to the part that you just mentioned, JG, about unconditional. So maybe if we were just more truthful about love when it comes to love between partners, maybe we can help the people, you know, under us that we're influencing, that we're a part of their lives, to have a more realistic expectation of what love is with a partner. Because I know when it comes to the way that we love our children, that's why I felt extremely comfortable having this conversation with you guys, because I know when it comes to our babies, look, you cannot deny our love for our children and how we just make it happen no matter what, you know. But then when we talk about partners, it's like, you know, how can we help these children that we love and everything else go into the world and have a realistic expectation of love between partners?
So meeting needs and wants is unconditional love if you're talking between a parent and their kid, but you can then project that onto a relationship where if you can meet the needs or wants of your partner, that's also unconditional love, and comes back to that same thing.
See, you got to look at the reason. It's more of the reason why you do it, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That's
to stay out the doghouse.
Right, exactly.
But that's a bad reason then, right?
Right, you're not really doing that out of love. You might be doing that because you want to be shown love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the reason why is key, man. You got me think about it, man. Love it's a verb and a noun. You know what I'm saying? I think the verb is what you do to get the noun, the state of. You know what I'm saying?
Because when you're talking unconditional love, it's like it's not necessarily what you do. You're talking about somebody who loves you no matter what you do. So like,
I like that.
JG is a self-proclaimed asshole. So, and self-proclaimed. But his wife loves him in spite of.
Yeah.
That's unconditional.
Yeah.
He's an asshole too.
But listen, you probably the only person on earth that can say that, bro. Facts. So you're island by yourself.
Right, and that's unconditional. So when she do asshole shit, you don't go and try to change her and tell her like, hey, you gotta stop doing that. Like you just be like, man, my baby an asshole, but I love her.
Word.
You know.
Word. Okay.
You know, like
I like that.
Unconditional, and you can have unconditional for somebody that you not necessarily in a romantic relationship with. Like, I
Great
know
point.
shit. I know Speak does shit that will irk somebody's nerves, and because I know that that's him, and I love him, and that's why we say that's my brother. Like, we don't introduce people as like that's my friend. That's my brother. Yeah. So, you know, Speak, do some shit, say some shit. Sometimes Speak could get on a tangent, and I'll be like, this motherfucker needs to shut the fuck up. Like, he on some bullshit right now. But I don't stop fucking with him because I love him in spite of, like, I know his character. I know his character flaws. I know this motherfucker is stubborn as shit. So when he does get on a road to something, it'll eventually end, but it's not going to end right away. And I just roll with the shit.
Right.
You know?
That's great.
And then the thing is, like, we got this thing where we said, like, look, if we decide to be 100 with you, like, you can't take that shit to heart.
That's
so
right.
Like, if I get to the point where I got to tell him, like, dude, you want some bullshit right now.
Yep.
Like, he just going to accept it. Because he know
the relationship y'all got.
And the reality is,
that I'm being dead honest.
And we originally made this pact with, like, it was like 5 of us, and the only people that lasted is just me and him. No. Because when those moments happened with people that we loved, and we had all agreed to, look, when we come to you like this, bro, that means, like, we really, really care for you, and shit has to change.
Right.
All of the motherfuckers we used to roll with, it's just us now.
Because like, y'all didn't meet their conditions.
That's true. Right. Yep. That's
y'all
true.
no longer met their conditions. I mean, it's deal breakers and shit. Y'all right, man. I get what they're implying. They're implying that I love you as you are when they say it in the songs, and kind of what Trip is talking about.
Them motherfuckers just trying
love
to
you as you are. You don't have to change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's cool because you want that. You don't want to. I mean, it'll be hard to love a motherfucker to say, man, I love you if you change everything about your ass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I look like,
see, and that's a great point, bro, because
you know what I'm saying?
For me, what I take from this conversation, you guys are giving me a better way to really help my kids, because all of my kids are teenagers. And guess what? They're in this phase where they're liking this person, they're liking that person. But now as a dad, I've talked to some other dudes that I value their opinion. I value the way they move in life. And now I can set the expectation. I'm not going to say, okay, all right, baby girl, niggas ain't shit, so be ready to get your heart broke. Right.
Go to the boy, like, just make sure you always have about 3 or 4 bitches.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
You can't do that.
You got to keep the same energy. Yep. You got to keep the same energy, bro.
It's not a one conversation deal, though. Like,
absolutely.
When you talk to your kids about this shit, it's like an ongoing conversation.
Yeah, man. It's like parenting never ends, even when they grown. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts.
Yeah, man. That's a great point, Trip. That's a great point. Yeah, dude. I think for me, I think this is good for anybody listening to this podcast that might be in love or maybe in pursuit of love. And like, I also, for any woman listening to this podcast, because I think it's like, sometimes we get looked at as like, savage or whatever the fuck you want to say, or maybe even toxic, because we openly say that, no, our love is conditional. Because if our love wasn't conditional, then that means for better, for worse really would be for better, for worse.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And America's divorce rate can attest to love not being unconditional.
Conditional as fuck, fam.
I can attest personally that love is not fucking unconditional. So like, I think
said that. Was that a divorce joke, my nigga?
You caught that?
Some shit to joke about.
You caught that? Listen, I shot that bitch like Kobe.
Shit. Yo, ain't shit off limits on the drama,
listen,
man.
That was one of them 81 points.
Is that the transition to drama?
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, okay, fam.
Yo, listen.
Yeah, your alimony payment finna go up. She saying this shit.
But I love love.
She probably do watch this too.
Man.
I don't know.
Funny.
But
that's hilarious. Nah, that's good shit,
go to the court and tell them they got a new child. She's gonna try to get more child support.
Yo, I ain't mad at you, fam. Hey, man, Laugh about it or cry about it, my dude.
Yo,
you know what I'm
or both, nigga.
Right. I bet.
Misery loves company.
Man. Straight up.
Man, dude.
Straight up.
Yeah,
So is that literal or no? So
is what?
Misery. So is that saying that people who are miserable are better together, or is it saying that misery as a mental state loves people being miserable?
I think it's a double entendre. I think it's both.
That's kind of what I was asking.
I think it's both, because the thing is, if I'm miserable, but someone who I love is very positive and optimistic, then I become what Tripp said. I become bitter because I know this person to be upbeat and optimistic, and I'm mad because they won't be miserable with me.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I believe it's a double entendre. Yeah.
I don't think y'all will be able to hang together.
Yeah.
I think somebody will get annoyed with the fact that somebody's always that type of way, either miserable or upbeat, and they're gonna either just disappear or just slowly stop spending time with you. Because, like, I'm not, if a motherfucker always talking negative, you stop having conversations with them. Like,
yeah, dude. And
there's that, and then the flip too, Tripp. Like,
oh, that was a bar.
This motherfucking happy ass motherfucker talking to birds and shit. Get the fuck away. You know what I'm saying? Like, smiling all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Hey, but if you're the miserable person, I mean, that distance that Tripp is talking about, that ain't necessarily a bad thing, man. You go get right.
It's not. It's not. And, like, for example, like, if I was to provide a real life example, one of the things that kind of like a relationship cue that my wife and I have is just like, okay, when it gets unbearable, this is what you say: I love you and I'm here for you if you need me. That way, it's like that's our very nice way of saying I love you, but I will not be your fucking punching bag. So get your shit together, and I'm here for you once you've gone through whatever you've gone through. And for me, I think it's totally 100, because we both can get in our modes. We both can. So it's like, okay, if I've tried to help in this loving way and that didn't work, and I've tried that way, that didn't work, okay, the only thing you need to know is, yes, I love you, like Tripp said, despite this, but I'm here for you. But I'm going to go ahead and create some distance to give you that moment. And I think, and I'm sure this is not where this ain't the only relationship where people have that. Even when it comes to parenting, I remember one time I was having one of my last trips to Georgia. I was hanging out with my kids, and my 19-year-old, she's definitely my kid. She will push the envelope. She will challenge you, and she's very cerebral, and she'll, like, push and provoke thought. So, like, I can recall in conversation where I had to let her know, like, okay, yeah, baby girl, I love you. And when life sucker punches you, if you don't want to wake up, I won't be that dad standing over you saying, I told you so. I'm just going to be there to help you up.
Right.
But just know, we ain't bigger than the way the world works. And that was the best way I can control my anger without, like, being, like, yelling demonstratively. It's like, okay, I didn't make the rules of how life works.
Right.
However, you want to go down your road, do that. But when you get a flat tire, you can call your dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be here.
I feel you.
Yeah, man. It's just one of those things, bro. But I think this was like a really good conversation. I think a lot of different cues and tips can be taken away from it, and we got a joke out of it. I think that was pretty dope.
That's pretty dope, man.
I ain't part of your
where
joke.
The funny was coming from and shit.
I ain't part of your joke, man.
Nah.
Yo.
No, he can have the divorce joke on his own.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That shit ain't funny at all.
No repercussions.
Yo, dude. So I was I don't know. We talked about it a little bit before we started recording, but they did the versus battle yesterday, and I don't have much to say about it. It was Nelly versus Ludacris. And I tried to hang in there, but just the internet connection was just so horrible. I think Nelly said something like it was like they had some really bad storms.
They probably had the storm that we're getting this morning.
Oh, yeah. Word? Okay.
Yeah, they're talking about we getting some flooding this morning. So.
Oh, okay, I see. So, like, But I'll be honest. We talked about this a little bit before the battle, but the only thing I'll say, then I'll allow you guys to chime in on whatever you want to, is I thought it was a horrible matchup from the beginning. I thought it was a horrible matchup from the beginning because I know that Nelly's a very commercially successful artist, like at least one Diamond album. I don't know if it's more than one. I don't know his stats like that.
I thought it was two. Yeah.
Okay, two. That's fucking amazing, right?
It really is.
So he's like literally a rap star, not like a, but like so two Diamond albums, and then there's the other part about Ludacris has been like quote unquote relevant longer. But for me, I thought it was a horrible matchup because, y'all know me, I love bars. So you got this person in Ludacris. Honestly, Ludacris can kind of do it all. He can make the songs for the strippers. He can make this. He can do that. But he can actually rap. He can hop on a song with Jay-Z and like go bar for bar. Versus when Nelly hops on a song with Jay-Z, they gotta talk about party shit.
Right.
So I thought it was a horrible matchup because I just think Ludacris is just a far more superior MC. So I didn't need to watch the battle. But go ahead, Trip.
I felt like the times I tried to watch,
okay,
because like I tuned in and then I tuned out and I went to do something else. Then I came back to see if maybe it would change or pick up.
Okay.
I feel like it was a rapper versus like an R&B dude. And I'm not shitting on Nelly because like country grammar and shit like that. That shit, I liked that shit. But I felt like as far as like the songs he was playing last night or whatever his hits were, especially like his diamond hits, they were mostly like the shit for chicks. So like a lot he kept going back. I don't blame him. But that's the type of shit he kept playing, especially when I was on. Maybe I missed some shit. And it showed even like on like my Facebook news feed, like chicks were like, I don't care what Nelly play, he took his shirt off, that's enough for me type shit.
Word up.
Whereas like like Luda, like I'm like I didn't get to hear like none of like the shit from like Theater of the Minds and
that's like my favorite album.
None of the shit where like he really like spitting,
which he can do.
Yeah, man. So so it sounds like he came to play.
Who, Luda?
Yeah, like he came to play for real.
Yeah, he came like he from the point I logged in and each time I came back, like according to the people in the comments, it was definitely a Luda landslide. As far as like the people that were in the comments or talk, they were there for like actual like lyrics or bars. But yeah, I think it would have been more exciting if it would have been like Luda and like another like I don't know. I want to say more like a more lyrical rapper.
Yeah.
Drop down and get your ego on was cool. Like when we was in the bar and the chick came in some leggings, but like not on the verse.
You preaching now. That's gospel.
So you thinking what? Like Luda and T.I. would have been better?
Yes. I think that would have been nice.
Yes.
I think so too.
Much better.
Or like Luda and Jeezy or something like that.
Not Jeezy, because Jeezy is almost the same. I think because for me, yes, but not like in the exact type of music they make, but being that they only have really one lane where they can exist in.
Gotcha.
Like Nelly doesn't have multiple lanes. Jeezy doesn't have multiple lanes. But T.I. and Luda, they have this broad range of the kind of music they can do, which would be a much more exciting battle.
Right.
And I think what they did was they tried to do this because from what I gathered, I'm going to beat your ass. This was their 20-year anniversary for both of them.
Yeah, bro, I'm a mandated reporter. You can't do that to the kids.
I'm talking to the dog. I'm talking to the dog.
Right after we just talked about love.
What was that? What kind of reporter?
Mandated reporter.
Dog said that.
He beating my ass with this damn toy trying to make me play. You know how Demon know how they put it in their mouth and they want to shake it by your leg and shit.
Yeah.
That shit hurt.
Damn kids.
That's awesome. So they did mention that though, Trip. They did mention it was like the 20-year anniversary. They kind of both came in the game at the same time. So,
and I think one thing that came out that they pointed, or I don't know if Luda pointed it out or Nelly pointed it out, but
okay.
it was about it was like, yeah, Nelly has the 2 Diamond albums and shit like that, but Nelly pointed it out. He was like, dude, he said, I don't know how you did it. He's like, because he said, I dropped an album like every other year. He said, nigga, you dropped the album every year.
Yeah, man.
For 10 years straight.
Yeah.
He's like, nigga, I don't know what kind of work ethic you had or what the fuck you was taking. He's like, but that shit, he's like, I don't think people understand how much work that take to drop an album every year for 10 years straight.
A year, man, dude, that's a great point. And for me, so I guess my takeaway, I'm so glad that you were able to provide that for me, because I'm just like, I think what happened is it was being perceived like it was going to be another love fest, like another Jill Scott, Erykah Badu. It was going to be like a love fest, but it's like that competitiveness definitely came out, even amongst all of the love. So I know some people actually record them and then they post them on YouTube. So I'm probably gonna go back. You know, we definitely be having downtime. So I'm gonna go back and see who maybe have posted that on YouTube, just so I can check out some of the stuff. Because I just couldn't make it past the poor internet connection. Like I just couldn't get past that.
Well, and that kind of happened like the whole time, but
why couldn't Nelly do what you just did, fam?
I don't know.
Your connection was whack as hell. Then you just like checked out, come back in, and now you see. Like,
you know what, bro?
Because he did check out, but mine was my data connection was bad. I think my Wi-Fi might be better than Nelly's. I don't know.
Yo, so hey, I'm always, you know me, I'm always looking for a name on the podcast. The name of this podcast is My Wi-Fi is better than Nelly's.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yo, so like, what I did, because then, you know, after that, the wife and I hung out. We played Scrabble. She kicked my ass, and then like, I logged back on to Swiss's IG Live, and Swiss was keeping it all the way 100. Swiss said, "This is why we send out versus kits." He said, and he also said, "Niggas don't want to do sound check." Luda did sound check. He's like, Luda used the versus equipment. That's all I can tell you. So he kind of like, because at the end of the day, I mean, at first, when this shit first happened, bro, I'll be honest with you. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, everybody's going live now, whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, as this continues to grow, I appreciate the intent that Timberland and Swiss are putting behind this. Like, they really care about their brand. And I think they've been offered to take it from Instagram and put it somewhere else. But I don't think that they're chasing money. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to give it to the people where most people access information. Right. So it was really cool, bro, because he just kept it a buck. He was like, he said that about Soundcheck. He said that about, this is why we send out versus kits. You know, even Luda says something like, you need a damn Ethernet cable. Like, hardwire your shit. Don't try to do the the wireless connection, because at the end of the day, it's old school, but it's proven. Right. You know, it's proven. That's facts. You know, and so for me, you know, it took a little bit away from it, because I was actually excited to just experience it, because I thought, like, yeah, while I thought Ludacris was a far better, superior MC, I thought that I was going to be reminded of some Nelly joints that, wait, I kind of like that joint. I forgot that I like that joint, but like, yeah. But what, you guys have anything else to say about it? I don't know how much y'all saw about it, how much you guys saw of the battle.
Fam, I ain't never liked nothing Nelly put out. So okay. I liked a couple of videos, but it wasn't because it was Nelly. It was it was the shit going on in the video. You know what I'm saying? So nah, it was the talent in the video. The talent. Yeah, I just kind of I was like,
whatever. Yeah, like a Nelly song just don't hit right if it ain't like a big booty chick, like in
Pretty
your proximity dancing to it. Like
pretty much.
Shout out to PD Pablo, because there's that Freaka League video is imprinted in my brain.
That's kind of what I'm
for
saying.
some reason.
It ain't really had nothing to do with Petey though.
Yeah, I didn't even know if he rapped on that song. I thought he just sang the hook.
That's another one. Now him and Nelly, I actually like. To me, they the same nigga. But
yeah,
as far as their music go, I ain't really like none of his shit either. I'm like, dog, I ain't never twirl my shirt. What the fuck? Man,
like a helicopter.
Fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't get down like that, bro. But,
that nigga was talking too much too, man. Like.
Man.
That nigga was introducing songs like he was introducing strippers and shit.
He really did. But
for my next song,
it was in a movie.
My next song, I'm gonna go way back. And
right.
This is when I had on 2 shoes, and one shoe had a shoestring, and the other one had a Velcro, and I had to say hell no. So I'm gonna drop it like this.
Man, that ain't my type shit, dog.
That's funny, dude.
Dog, hey, let me ask you this, man.
Mm-hmm.
With this pandemic shit.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I'm digging about, well, when I see the Versus shit,
mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'd rather they didn't do the Versus shit. They just did a concert.
Yeah.
You did what I'm saying? Just do a concert, because if you think about it, fam.
Yeah.
If you charge $3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to, $3 for the password to get into the show, to see the concert. Dog, you probably make more money than you ever made at a fucking show, because there's so many more people that can pull it in. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's what Erykah Badu is doing. That's why with her own streaming platform, and like you said, her first one was $1, $2, and $3.
Yeah.
Other people are actually doing it. I follow Sky Zoo on Instagram. Mm-hmm. He is doing something with another artist that I'm not as familiar with, and it's called Coachella instead of Coachella.
Okay.
So they're doing something where they're broadcasting. I want to say maybe it might be on Twitch or something like that. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, I'm a big fan of West Side Gun. He's doing something. He's part of a full concert lineup. Mm-hmm. And that's on House Party. I haven't been on House Party before, but it's like another platform. But he's one of those artists. They're doing this like it's a 3-day festival.
Okay.
Like kind of exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where you go, I think you do have to purchase a quote unquote ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have access to this entire concert series, which I think is really, really dope. So
right.
I don't know, because I think that, remember like one of the first times it was somebody, I think it was maybe Radio 1 or some shit like that. Remember they did a big all-day concert and like it was all kind of artists. So I think some people are definitely doing that. Some people definitely are doing that. And I think it's what I was hoping to come out of this, and maybe this is just the selfish artist in me, is that people can begin to see that the value is the artist,
and
not their labels and everything else. I do understand that labels do a lot of things to help you polish your image, to help you get ready to do what you do. But like, if I even think about like my music career, like for example, my music career got better when I started working with Dima and Unify. But like, Dima's just different. He's always like, this is what it is. He's a cards up kind of guy.
Right.
But some of our favorite artists have never been able to pop because of the business. When you think about talented MCs, bro, like I think about AZ all the time. I think about AZ, and I'm sure AZ is not broke. But I think about like, if his business situation was different, would we be talking about AZ like we talk about Nas and Jay-Z? Because to me, AZ is Nas and Jay-Z in one person.
Facts.
And then, what you gonna say, Trip? Go ahead.
Oh, I was waiting, but I was gonna say it's funny that you bring this up because that the little funny colored kid got out, Tekashi.
Yeah.
So here's the funny thing is that I saw a video he put up the other day, and he was I think it was either Billboard he was talking about, and he was saying how labels get a projection email like every week, and his song Gooba on the original projection email was number 3. Somebody else was number 2. Somebody else was number 1, and then some chick, I can't remember her name, she was like number 5 or number 6.
Okay.
And that was the projection email. And then he said somehow this chick's label was allowed to submit like 50,000 streams at like the last minute that pushed her into like number 1, and that's not supposed to be allowed to happen.
Yeah.
And so I guess Sony and whoever it was, so the 2 people ahead of him, their one was backed by Sony and the other one was backed by, I think, like Atlantic or Apple Music or something, I don't know.
Okay.
He said that they launched they requested an audit because he said according to him, and you know, he talk a lot of shit, so I don't know how much of it is true, but he was saying they requested an audit because they felt like those 2 labels felt like they could have dealt with Tekashi jumping from 3 to 1, but they can't deal with this chick jumping from 5
to
all
1
the way up to 1.
Yeah.
And they want to know how this was possible. And his thing, what he was saying is that, and he looked at his streams, I guess it's based on the streams for that week.
Okay.
And, you know, according to his thing for the streams for that song, the streams for his song supposedly was higher than hers until these whatever streams were submitted. So he was saying that, as like you were saying that, he said it makes it hard for an artist who's out here working, like literally working hard, to be number 1 if people can do shit like that.
It's just so funny coming from him. Like, it just, like, I mean, it's so funny coming from him. But the reality is, though, you know, say what you will about, like, I can't speak to that person. I don't know his character. I don't know anything, right?
I don't know his character.
But I believe that there's some truth to that.
From the outside looking in, like, the kid it's a lot of antics behind the shit that he does. And that's a given. And, like, people have warned him about his antics behind, you know, the other shit like that. But honestly, just to be honest, this kid is like, he's like an independent artist, I'm believing, right?
No, so, he's still on his label.
Yeah, he's
who's he with?
I don't know his major label, but he's still on the label.
So either way, to go from who he was before, like he had, like, who's, like, we can't even name his label, so he can't have that much backing. But to go from where he was to, like,
I'm gonna look really quick.
You know, the number, you know, the numbers that he does, and granted, that's like a bunch of little kids that look up to him, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But to do whatever he's doing, either the people behind him know what they're doing, or he's not as dumb as he acts.
Scum Gang Records.
Oh, that's probably his little independent imprint, probably that came from the last. Okay, he re-signs with. Yeah, I guess I would want to know who their parent company is, but I guess it kind of doesn't matter. But I'm sure it's like a
10K Projects. Man, that
looks like he signed a record deal. This article that I see is from Rolling Stone from October. That's the one you're looking at?
Yeah.
And he got $10 million from this. So I don't think that it was within their best interest to not access him because. So, and I guess I love that we bring
October
2019.
Okay, so
is that right before he went to jail?
They knew he was going to jail, and they knew they could capitalize on the song that really gets released after.
Yeah.
So
that not only that,
so like
not only that, but didn't he release if that's in October, like, didn't he release a song like right before he
Right
went?
before too.
Yes.
That
yes.
was that Fifi song with
Nicki
Minaj.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my point though. So it sounds like we're talking about two different things, but we're not, because when we talked about what JG says about investing in the artist, but then when we talked about the label doing what's best for the label, I mean, the same people who said that hip hop was a fad and was gonna die are the same people that own hip hop. And I say that, and I mean that, because it's the people that are controlling hip hop and music. They don't care. They don't care about the artist.
We're about to get chewed on.
I see. That sounds like an issue. But like, I would say like artists need to get to the point that like to know that these record labels don't really care about you. This is a business.
Right.
So, and especially, you know, people are talking about, oh, this kid's a snitch and this kid is that. I am no gangster by any stretch of the imagination. However, gangsters don't run the music industry. The music industry don't care whether or not that kid is alive or dead.
Right.
They still gonna make money off of him no matter what. They probably got him recording as much music as possible right now. So in the event of something happening, what happens when artists that we kind of check for, but then we ain't been checking for in a while, then they die, their sales go up.
Yep.
So this is a business investment. It's not about an investment in this person.
No. But the artist, the only time you got love involved in the music industry is the artist and the art.
So how can we, not me, because I know I don't have the influence, I don't have the power. What do you think it will take for, because I feel like until the consumers start to be more diligent with how they consume their music, these powers that be will always win. And I know Jay-Z's doing some different things. What they do with Tidal for artists is a little bit different than, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, where it used to, when we first moved to the streaming platform, it would cost me $1 to buy a song, to listen to that whole song. Now it's less than 1 cent. So what needs to happen for the money to go, for this to be flipped? It's kind of one of those things like, you know, when people say teachers should be paid more because they're influencing and they're helping develop children and yada, yada, yada. Or is this just the way that the world works? Because that independent route of being in having integrity in your art you can almost never make it. So it's like, it's not like only the most talented MCs make it. It's not about talent anymore. It hasn't been for quite some time. So what would you guys say needs to happen for consumers to shift and begin to put money directly support their artists?
I don't know if it can be up to the consumers anymore, because what's happening is everything's integrated into things we use every day, which is technology. So phones, and we're not in control of that shit. We're plugged into it.
Yes.
So
yes.
Unless we can detach that artistry from things we use every day and it's convenience, the only way is really that one-on-one direct love for the artist. So you have to focus now on, instead of global, even though you can have a global influence if you're a major artist, that one-on-one, you know, effect on somebody to say, I fuck with this person, I'll buy their sweater, or I'll buy their hoodie, or I'll buy what they give me as far as how they want to be supported.
Yeah, man.
And it's hard to do that because you're lost in so many artists. So who are the ones you actually put your dollars into? Well, right now, none. And I listen to so many.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think you got to look at it like this. And I don't know, maybe nobody ever looked at it like this. But if you look at it like this, you got some artists that have a job. And those are the ones who are assigned to major labels and shit like that. And it's going to come quicker because they're not putting up the upfront capital They got somebody doing the bulk of the work to get them out there, and I think that's the problem. So as much as we want more to go to the artists, if I'm fronting the money, then why would you get more of the cut if I'm fronting the money? That's just a bad business deal, period.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
You know, like, I don't think anybody would make that business deal. That would be dumb as a businessman. Yeah. And then you got the other artists who I would look at as like entrepreneurs. And of course, it's going to take more work for the entrepreneur to pop, or to and not necessarily to pop, but if you're trying to compare the two, and you want the entrepreneur to be as big as the quote unquote major artist, then yeah, it's gonna look like the entrepreneur is failing. But I think if he's a true entrepreneur and there's a true love, as like we had with Prince, their label or their level of what's considered being successful is different to them than what we're looking at.
I like that.
Or
I like
the spectrum of what we're trying to see it through. So maybe you don't see me in the Bentley. Maybe you don't see me, you know, with platinum chains or whatever. But that don't mean that I'm not doing well.
That's a great point, dude. Wow.
I think that's an image. That's an image of success that was put in place, I want to say, by not artists, but the labels. Because I mean, we grew up in the hood. Everybody don't have a Bentley,
right?
You know, and that don't mean everybody is bad off.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you look at that major artist with the Bentley, or what we're starting to find out is that Bentley is either leased by the label or owned by the label.
That's true. I guess you think about it, they started pumping the image, providing the artist money.
That gold chain, you know, a lot of those gold chains that we see in videos are
rented.
Loaners. Yeah. They're rented. You know, I think it came out that Busta Rhymes gold chains, the diamonds aren't real diamonds. They're like the man-made diamonds. And I think that's what the joke was. If you listen to like old Jay-Z albums, and he always be like, "No, I really own that shit." Like,
because he was talking. That's when he was talking about like Mason shit. It's like, those ain't Rolex diamonds. What the fuck you done to that?
Right.
Like yeah. Like so I think and speaking of Jay-Z and actually Mason.
Hang on one speak before you know what too. I think the best way. What I would tell a cat that was trying to get in the game, you gotta remember that scene in Mo Better Blues when Wesley was going off on Denzel and he was saying that the people ain't coming because you grandiose motherfuckers don't play the shit that they like. If you play the shit that they like, then the people will come, right?
Yes.
So to the new artist, as much as an artist loves his art, they have to find a way to understand that the people may not love that art. Yeah. But they will love the artist. You dig what I'm saying? So he gotta put some shit on. He gotta put out more of himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They fuck with the artist now more than they even fuck with the music. Like what Trip was saying, man, the music will be free. And then you can buy the nigga hoodie, or he made a funny video and that catchphrase in the video, they'll buy the shirt with that saying it. You know what I'm saying? He got to get more of himself and sell himself, man.
And that's why, like, that's where I think that's probably where the first time somebody gave me that information about you have to be the brand, because I was one of those artists that was like, no, man, like, it's about my art. Like, funny thing, I was talking to my wife and I was talking to her about like, all the different celebrities that we've been around, just me doing like mini tours with Unify. And I was talking about when we were at A3C, and this is one of those things, Trip, where you might be like, okay, yeah, this thing is weird. So like, I remember being at A3C, right? And I remember Dima was talking to Sway, and like, in my head, I was like, maybe, I don't know if I was starstruck, but Dima, I'm seeing him talk across the room, And my arrogance and ego, I'm like, okay, DeMonte, this is where you go over there and say hi. That's fucking sway, bro. That's fucking sway.
Mm-hmm.
Go say hi. Dude, I stayed on the other side of the room. And I was like,
damn you, because I was like, somebody needs to come over here.
In my head, I was like, but it was so. This is the weird artist in me, right? This is where I can say I can pinpoint a fail of mine as an artist. In my head, I was thinking, yo, I'm an artist, I'm an MC, and I don't even know what I would say to him. And on top of that, like, well, he should come greet me. How fucking dumb is that? That's fucking sway, bro. How fucking dumb is that? That's sway. I remember another time this same week, we're in Atlanta. We come across Rhapsody. This is before she blew up, before she signed to Rock Nation, all of that shit. I think they were down there. Their whole label, a few of them folks were down there. Was it Sean Smart? I think he was down there. They're talking to Rhapsody, bro. And I like really fuck with Rhapsody's music.
Right. She dope.
I didn't even go say hi, bro. I didn't even go say hi. And it's just one of those things where like
shot my shot. Like fuck it.
I would like and
hey, what's up, boo?
I bring this up because it's like, dude, if I wasn't so, as Tripp says, stubborn, I'm not saying that I would have made it or blew up, but being able to have a connection and people say, oh, I remember Speak, and like he, you know what? He's true to form. He's still all about his music. But then being able to like just have interaction, not even necessarily get a deal or get a look from them, but just to get that nod from somebody who's so entrenched to the culture to be like, yo, you're pretty dope. And I'm like, so I would say, you know, if I was to give any advice, like, you do have to be the brand. You do have to, you know, offer, you know, sell that merch and shit like that, because and there is a breed of there are a breed of record executives right now, and I think this is what Jay-Z has been doing. It's slow, but I think to change, what they've been doing is they've been helping artists build their own.
Yeah, they should.
Think what Jay-Z,
think about it too, fam. They got like when we were out there, the cast that we respected the most was the cast that was the most authentic.
Yes.
So we actually bought into the cats too.
Yes.
But just back then, the authenticity was in the music.
Yes, you really, like, Beanie Siegel really was Beanie Siegel.
Really that dude,
like,
and that's
in
why
real
we
life,
with him. Right.
On and off microphone, he's Beanie fucking Siegel.
But
dude.
But we bought Beanie's records because of that.
Yes.
Well, now the record game's so changed. You can't sell a record no more.
Yeah.
So and you gotta have something else for me to buy because I fuck with you.
Yeah, and I would even give Meek Mill credit. There's this artist, and I don't know this artist's name, but he's a young guy. And, you know, he does the kind of music that what all these young guys do, he does that kind of music. And I saw a clip of this kid, and he was like, well, people talking to me like, yo, you just signed to Dream Chasers. Like, how come you ain't out here stunting and yada, yada, yada. And it was just so cool because this kid, he couldn't be no more than like 20, 22. He said, fam, I'm from the hood. What the fuck I look like wearing a $100,000 necklace and my mama and I ain't got my mama a house yet?
Right.
He said, so I don't give a fuck what these rappers out here doing. I gotta get my mama a house. I gotta get my mama out of the hood. And once my mama's straight, then you're gonna see me styling, then you're gonna see me doing this and doing that. But he said, I'm not gonna fake it. And like, I ain't heard no young artist come up and say I'm not gonna fake it.
He might have had a daddy. I'm just
or a good ass uncle.
Yeah.
Or he was just raised right.
Yeah.
I mean,
he might have had a daddy. You right, Tripp, or one of them uncles, man.
Yeah,
that was
because
cool.
it was
put him
so
up
cool.
on game when he was young. Yeah,
and you could tell, you know, and I don't. And,
that nigga, he probably sold candy like in 6th grade after school. You know what I'm saying?
He sold it during school.
During school, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. At the school, not after. I mean, at the school. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like during, like in between class, everybody had his locker, paying $1 for some lemon heads and shit that cost 20 cents in the fucking store. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing though, because how do you make it in today's music industry when you know the streaming is like this? You hustle.
And that's why the homies like Prince was
Yeah.
struggling, because he was like, fam, it take me 3 years to make this fucking album.
Mm-hmm.
I can't just get this shit away.
Yeah.
He was still trying to find a way to make money from the actual music.
Yeah, because he didn't want to go do all this other shit. And there's
Yep,
some artists,
he don't- yep.
it's some artists that they just don't want to do those other things, you know.
Right.
And, even another artist who I love. I love Busta Rhymes' music, man,
Mhm.
and I love his contribution to hip hop.
Right.
But it's like when I think about it, and I think about, you know, of course he looks like he's fine. He's gonna be good.
Mhm.
And some of these legacy artists, they found a way to still get these big checks from major record labels.
Right.
I remember hearing Nori say it one time on Drink Champs when I used to listen to Drink Champs a lot. He said, "Bro, I know how to go out and get it independently." He said, "But I'm gonna be honest. I'm lazy because I've been spoiled." He said, "I've been spoiled by them 2000s record deals."
Mhm.
It's like them 2000s type of record deals. Like I still want that shit. So
feel you.
it's some people that if you got that leverage, bro, you can still get that kind of money. But up and coming artists, it's like it's just that grind, dude. And
Right.
I love to see Rhapsody shining. I love to see her doing what she's doing, because she's just like and you can even tell if you really been following her for a while, her music has changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Her music has changed a little bit, but it's like I think she's also evolved as a person.
Mhm.
And that's another thing, thinking about artistry. Remember when artists used to evolve?
Yeah.
Remember when artists would evolve and we love their growth?
Mhm.
Like, why do we not appreciate that as much anymore?
Didn't we just talk about this with
Thought we did.
crying ass Drake?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
See, like I can't imagine Cool.
And you was defending Drake.
Yeah, you did, because you was Stan. But like I can't imagine like Cool G rap Draking.
Hell no.
Like I would legit be pissed off, because we look at, you know what? Sometimes we look at evolution, like what Trip was saying. We get infatuation and love mixed up.
Mhm.
Sometimes I think we get evolution and just fucking copying the nigga to try to get some money mixed up.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. Because
So
like that's why I was saying
I
wasn't relating.
I can't
it to
imagine
Drake
one of
yet.
my faves doing like Black Thought all of a sudden singing about the same girl on the hook for 15 years and shit.
Yeah,
I
so
can't imagine that.
that's not what I mean when I say evolution. So
Okay.
so when I say
You
evolution,
talking about like growth as in like their skill and their mastery of what they do. Like if you're talking about that, then like
Or the subject matter.
yes,
well,
all of that.
Like look at like Fat Joe.
Mhm.
And Fat Joe will tell you that he was booty when he came out. Like
Yeah.
that nigga said he got booed at one of the big open mics in New York.
Mhm.
But if you listen to Fat Joe now
Yes.
compared to Fat Joe when he came out,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
that's evolution. That's growth.
Yes. Yep. And the thing is, it's like I remember he says something like that. He says something like they would swear I found Big Pun's old rhyme book,
Mm-hmm.
because he even said it, and he's never shied away from that. About like, yeah, I know I'm getting better, dude.
Right.
I did not like Rick Ross at first. Rick Ross has
Me
become
neither.
a better and better MC. Like he's become a better and the way he raps
Okay.
now versus when he first started.
He found his lane.
Yes.
He found his lane.
Yeah.
But them Maybach music niggas help a lot. Them tracks was fucking phenomenal, man.
And another example I'll say, because when we bring up,
but you know what? That's part of finding your lane too. Like you find some shit that work. I'm gonna stick with this shit because it's working. Like you know when I used to coach football, like you know the kids would be like, "Why we keep running this play? Because we're gonna run it till they stop it."
Right.
Yeah.
That's facts.
That's a good point. So and I bring that up, and when I talk about evolution, it's not compromising your integrity. I mean, Dima will tell you that there's been times that we've gotten beats, and I'm like, I can't rap to that shit. I can. I don't fucking want to.
Right.
That's not me. I don't want to do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like, artists like Black Thought maintains their integrity all the while evolving. I don't know if you guys saw that they signed a deal, and it's like, I don't even know what the fucking deal is. So this headline I'm looking at right now says Amir Questlove Thompson and Tariq Black Thought Trotter will create and develop scripted and unscripted series and specials for multiple platforms. So they took what they probably do on the late night show, and they're taking their artistry and they're putting themselves in spaces, yet all the while never compromising themselves. And it's like, I think they are like a great blueprint to follow, because it's like, dude, how do they keep doing it? Like they it's like the roots didn't change. They, like you said, they didn't do some Cool G rap, and now they trying to rap like Nelly and try to give girl. They ain't doing songs about women shaking their ass.
Right.
You know.
Never
like,
have.
And the way that they have somehow creatively, it sounds like, there seems to be great studies, and to continue to put themselves in spaces to continue to be successful, all the while not compromising their art. That is a delicate balance.
That shit, and they still actually getting paid. Like it's some artists out here that ain't getting paid for their art, like the Roots. You know what I'm saying? That shit, that house band shit. Cass was calling them dudes sellouts.
But
agreed to go on Fallon.
But they had to be willing. They had to be willing to do some shit over the years that a lot of motherfuckers it's the work. Like, I'm gonna play Summerfest every year. And like to us, Summerfest is big, but on the grand scheme of like music festivals, around the nation, like
people ain't coming across the country to come to Summerfest.
You coming to punk ass Milwaukee every summer?
Every summer, dog. They did though. Man, dog. I think Tariq said they work like 340 days a year.
Yeah, like they were
out the year.
And the thing is, so the people that called them sellouts were just selfish people that knew that they wasn't going to see them at Summerfest again. I'm like, no. You should be happy for them, because now they don't have to be on the road as much.
Right.
They can
but
see
they
their
still
family.
Are, though.
But I'm saying is like, it allows them to get the bag however they want to. But like, who am I as a consumer? Like, as long as they still giving me dope shit, I'm going to applaud every move that they make, bro.
That's
facts.
Like, the only thing they did speak, they used their art. It's kind of like what George said in The Last Dance, man. Everything that I got comes from what I do on the court.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, the Roots was kind of the Jordan in that aspect, man. Everything they got came from the music they were doing. And ironically, the only thing they not doing anymore really is making albums. Yeah. That's like they smallest bag, which is some bull, kind of what we're talking about. That's some bullshit, but they smallest bag would be putting out an album.
And and it's other artists that continue to do the same thing. I mean, and actually Dima has landed Questlove to come and do shit for us. Like, I mean, and Dana has done
Word?
Yeah, Dana has done songs with like
Summerfest after parties.
Was that the one at the Stonefly? When you DJ the Stonefly?
It was a few different times.
Yeah, we did it a couple times. It was most of the time it was at Most, which was by Summerfest, so it was easy to get them out.
Yeah, now I think that's called Cooperage or something like that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So you can't afford them now, though, probably.
And then like
they weren't that bad. Now it would make sense, because before we charged 20, it was like 20 a head to pay at the door, so it's kind of a lot, but you get to come out and see Quest spin records, which was cool. So that they'd fill up nowadays with the Rona shit. Good luck.
Yeah, good point.
And then like in addition to that, there's other artists like I'll say this, and then I want to go back to the Jordan thing, because we haven't talked about the documentary and it's about to be over, and I wanted to ask you guys something. Okay. But like I'll quickly just mention Action Bronson, dope MC. He was a real chef, I guess, before, and I know him and Dana have a song that's like which is a great song. But he's making a lot of money on his show that he has with Alchemist, where they're like basically just getting high on TV off of whatever and just having random conversations. Another dope MC who's getting a whole lot of money elsewhere. And I tried to watch that one show, Dave, with the artist Lil Dicky on it. I tried to watch it. I couldn't personally watch it. It wasn't my kind of humor. However, it doesn't matter what I think. The show's extremely successful.
It's successful,
It just got renewed again. This kid can rap for real.
Yeah, Lil Dicky, he got fired.
He can rap for real, but what he found, like, oh, well, here's another avenue.
Yep.
You know, so I just think I really love that there are executives that are teaching artists how to grow and develop and to survive with or without this record deal. I really love that. And I love that artists are finding ways to be authentic and still get the bag, because we want them to be successful. We don't want your favorite artist to be somewhere broke. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like, damn, like imagine somebody who like helped influence some of your life, and maybe they did a song that kind of changed the way you think, and now you're successful, and then you like see that motherfucker homeless.
That was Craig Mack.
Really?
That was Craig Mack for me, dog. I was like, man, I like this cat. He was like he was like the Redman with better bars. He was kind of like a mix of Redman and Big. When I say better bars, I don't mean like Redman to kill that nigga in a battle.
Right.
But I meant, you know, it was more technically sound. It was. I thought he was a good mix of like Red and Big. Yeah. And then them joints he was putting out, man, at the time, I was like, yo, this cat, he could rival Big, man, with the right, you know what I mean? The stuff behind him. I actually rocked with him, and that Flavor of Your Ear remix killed the game like for a few years.
I love that song, yeah.
And then you look at what happened to Dog, and I was like, damn, man, how the fuck that even, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
So you're right, you felt bad, but all he wanted to do was make records, and because they wouldn't promote him, he had, I don't want to say he didn't have no hustle, but he had no idea how to, like you said, get that bag in a different way. He had all he knew how to do was, I'm a rap and put out records, and when nobody assisted him in doing that, then
it didn't go so well.
Disappeared. You know what I mean? The Dog was just gone. Now he passed away. I remember he gave all his money to like a fucking cult.
Really?
Somewhere.
Damn.
Yeah, he gave all the money he had to a cult and lived on their compound or some shit and died. It was
that's horrible.
Terrible story, man. You know what I mean?
Dude.
It's like, dog, just you're right. You don't wanna wish that on anybody, man. So I'm glad to see these cats doing other things. But
dude.
If I'm authentic, there was a time where if you saw like like, okay, Ice-T was a sellout for playing a cop in New Jack City.
After making Cop Killer, right?
Right. They called him a sellout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really called him a sellout when he was in that fucking Leprechaun movie.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? They like, nigga, you the hardcore gangster rapper. Look, you playing cops, you in these bullshit movies.
And man, Law and Order has been better for him than his fucking rap career.
Hell yeah. Dog,
you know what I'm saying?
Like that thing's like, I ain't even Ice-T. I'm Detective Tutuola now.
You know what I'm saying? Like dude,
Dog said when he did that Leprechaun movie, Cass was coming for him. Like, man, how could you do that shit? He said, because the motherfuckers paying me $50,000 a day.
Yeah.
That's
even to do the Law and Order, like he said it was still hard for him to play the role as a cop because of how he actually feel about cops.
Yep.
And like they had to coach him into it. Like they was like they had to tell him, like, you know, be the cop. You have to be the cop that you feel like we really need, as opposed to the cop that you're used to.
Wow.
Because he was like,
they literally had to teach him how to act, like for real. That's a great point. A lot of people, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Man.
Wow.
That dude said that, and that shit was hard, dog.
Man, dude, that's what's up. So, like, the last thing I wanted to talk about before we get out of here is the Jordan documentary. A lot of people have been doing shows or like podcasts, kind of like recapping the shows and stuff like that. One of the ones that I listened to, I know I was telling you guys, I'm a big fan of this comedian Andrew Schultz, and like they have a show where they've been doing a podcast after every whatever. I know the homie El Fatah's doing something similar as well. So like, one of the things that I took away and I wanted to talk about is just about leadership. So my takeaways, and like I know Jordan was, in my opinion, like one of the greats. In my opinion, the greatest I've ever seen. So to me, I'm not getting that when I'm watching this documentary. What I'm looking for is like, why did he befriend Tiger Woods? Why did he befriend like Michael Jackson? Like, what are the commonalities? And it's something about greatness, how they all get after greatness. And, you know, I've seen a lot of chatter all over social media, but I just wanted to bring it here with you guys. When I think about that obsession, the way that he came at certain people and stuff like that, I'll start off the conversation by saying, was it right
for Mike
to behave the way that he behaved? Because it was a conduit on the way to greatness.
You know what, fam? I got this this little ism that I say when I'm in positions where I'm like a leader or whatever. Now ask a person without I don't think you can tear them down and build them back up. That's where I think Mike made some mistakes. But I always say, like, if everybody did what you're doing, would we be successful or not? You know what I mean? There's just just a little bit of accountability. And then now that's what I would say to the guy who just fucked up. But now to the workhorse over here, now what if everybody was doing what that dude is doing? Would we be successful? You get what I'm saying? The problem with Mike thinks like that. Mike was saying, you motherfuckers need to do what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm just great because this is what I do. If y'all do what I do, shit, we got 5 Jordans out here instead of 1. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Was he thinking? The mistake he made, man, was it took him too long to realize that, motherfucker, everybody ain't gonna do that shit. Everybody can't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? That took him too long to realize it. Like, you know, when he realized that shit when he was crying in the documentary. When he said, if you don't want to play like that, then don't play like that. And then he was like, we got a break. Because he was starting to tear up.
Oh, yes. That,
I think at that point, that motherfucker realized, wow, maybe the motherfuckers just couldn't do it. I don't know. But
and this is years after
after the fact.
Wow.
But when he was doing that shit, that's what he was saying, man. That's why he never coached, fam.
Yeah.
I mean, if you the person that shoots 25,000 jumpers a day, and then you talk to this dude, he don't even want to come to practice and shit.
Yeah.
How you reach him? You know what I'm saying? You can't even understand him.
I think that's why I think in my assumption, this is nothing but an assumption, is that like that mentality, he still had it when he was working for the Wizards. Yep. And I think that psychologically killed Kwame Brown's career.
It did kill him.
I think
he killed dude.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. And I think so. I will ask you guys.
Well, think about it. If you fucking up, and the old fat out of shape retired dude up in the office is on your ass every day telling you fucking up, and then that motherfucker go get some shorts and a t-shirt and come into practice and bust your ass in front of everybody on the court.
Yeah.
How you come back from that?
So can you guys recall a point in time in your life where, now, you know, hindsight is whatever, but where you behaved that way, where you were pushing someone and you were like maybe demonstrative and you were just really trying to, your intentions were pure, but your approach was just like Jordan's? Can you recall doing something like that in your life?
Honestly, damn, I can't believe I'm saying this shit. Yesterday with my son.
Really?
Yesterday with my son.
Wow.
And it was but he actually took a shot at me, verbal shot at me, that was so fucking poignant. I had to sit down and think about it for a minute. Because, you know, sometimes you dad, and, you know, when the kid rebels,
yes,
you ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I had to
Like,
chill
let me
and
let you
think
know.
about
Like,
it.
don't get me.
Right,
Don't get it twisted
But I'm
now.
like, you know what? I'm gonna consider his point.
Yeah.
Right, because it hit me like that. But no, it was, you know, he had some pickup runs with some stars, some former pros and shit. And you know, he's out there starting slow. He wasn't quite himself. You know what I mean? And this is me trying to, hey man, you can't ever do that shit. Now you big time. Dog, every time you walk in, it's all eyes on you. Cats coming at your neck. They trying to knock you down. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving him that.
Yeah.
Right. And then he was like, "Well, pops, man, this, you know, he in his feelings, but I'm getting at him like that. No, fuck that, man. You kill them motherfuckers. You can't have this scrub looking like he can play against you. That motherfucker can't be. He ain't supposed to be on the same fucking court as you. I'm on that shit.
Yeah.
Bust that motherfucking ass. Woo, woo." And he was like, man, you know, and he like trying to find, because he knew he had messed up. That's what I didn't realize.
Oh, word.
That's the part I didn't even pay attention to. He knew he messed up, right? But he was like trying to work through it.
Yeah, he's still processing. Yep.
He's still processing it. I didn't catch none of that. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Busted him up. As soon as you step on the court, I'm that dude.
Right.
And he like, pops, man, you gotta understand, man, it's the first time I walked on the court and I'm the motherfucker everybody trying to get at.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So he like, man, I ain't really know what to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never been that dude.
Been that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Wow, dude.
But then that motherfucker said, and that's something you never experienced.
Word.
So you can't really tell me how I'm supposed to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, did this nigga just call me a scrub? And I was like, yeah, he did. And nigga, yeah, he right. Wasn't no motherfucking colleges calling my mama house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, I was skipping practice half the time. So he right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so I would have to say, man, unfortunately.
Yeah. And
that shit happened to me yesterday.
I think I've done that a lot.
Because I see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see the answer speak.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what's the gospel, the good news? Like, I remember this Jehovah's Witness dude, and I was asking him why they was so fucking persistent. And he told me the only time I ever talked to him, dude said this. He said, what if you felt like you had the answer to your good friend's problem? Wouldn't you tell him? Wouldn't you go through all of this to try to tell him the answer that he needs so he can, you know what I'm saying, get through what he's going through?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I was looking at it with my son yesterday, man. You got to do this. I'm going to do this. Do this right here every time, and you won't have that problem ever again.
Yeah.
And that shit backfired.
Man,
because I didn't look at it from his perspective at all. That's what Mike was doing. He didn't give a fuck with any of them dudes.
And I can say, being an MC, and I would like to consider myself an elite MC, I would say that I've had those moments. Like, fuck them dudes. Like, these ain't nobody fucking better than us. We got it. Like, I've had those moments where I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, nobody is better than us, and we're going to go out and we're going to do X, Y, and Z and all of those things. And it just made me, as I was watching that, it made me replay all of these different moments that I had where I was behaving that way. And I was furious because the people who I was trying to convey these messages to, I'm like, you motherfuckers don't get it.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, dude. And it's like, when you think about, you know, some people, like MJ was saying, kind of the cost of greatness, so to speak. I'm just like, I don't know. I believe that is one path. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I believe that that's one path because I remember behaving in such a way, and like, and my if I was to let you guys inside of my crazy warped head. My train of thought was the way that I'm rapping and the way that we're doing music, there's no fucking way that we shouldn't be just out of here. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but then as you get older, you start to understand, okay, like the day that I realized that making it in the music industry had nothing to do with your talent, holy shit.
Damn.
That was a tough day for me,
Yeah,
bro.
dog.
That
all
was
this
a tough
motherfucking practicing and
So I got my 10,000. I got my 10,000 hours in when it comes to emceeing. I have 20, 30,000 hours in when it comes to
It don't
emceeing.
mean shit.
And you mean to tell me that all these shots I got up in the gym don't matter? I was like,
jump man.
Yo.
Jump man.
That shit
jump man. That's all you had to do, fam.
That's it.
You did all that writing and reading thesauruses and shit.
Flipping soliloquies and all this motherfucker.
All you had to do was say
I changed my middle name to Haiku, and it's just.
Dog said, "Hey man, that shit remind me of that Franklin Ajayi joke." He said he always watched the Olympics and he would watch the long distance races. And watch the motherfuckers in last place and try to imagine what they think it is. Dog said,
he said, "I'm not gonna catch
said, I could have not trained and did this." You know what I'm saying? So I said, I could have not trained and came this motherfucker and finished all that goddamn training I did. Could have came here and not trained.
Just for this shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn. Steve said when I realized it had nothing to do with your talent, man.
Like, Jesus.
I can only imagine, fam. Like, you've been wasting your damn time trying to be cold and shit.
I swear, dude. It's crazy, dude.
I didn't mean to interrupt, Trip. My fault.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I think I had learned that, like, my earlier years, like when I was coaching, like, Little League.
Okay.
Like, before I made it to being a high school coach. And it's hard for somebody who's really good at a sport to coach.
Yep.
And that's why you'll probably never see Jordan coach. Yep. Because it's hard to see somebody not get what came to you really easy.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that. Like we go out and we, play these teams, and it's like in my head, like I know like my kids are better than the kids on the other side of the field, or, I know that I'm a better coach than the other person, or I got a higher football IQ than the other person on the other side of the field, as opposed to saying I'm a better coach, because a higher football IQ doesn't necessarily make you a better coach.
Right.
Wow.
And being a better, like a higher basketball IQ is not necessarily going to make you a better coach. Coaching is more about reaching that person you're trying to reach and getting them to understand what you need them to do as a part of a whole.
Okay.
And I think I learned that because, man, we like that first year was rough. Like I think we went like 1-9 or some shit. Like we was getting our ass whooped. Not necessarily getting our ass whooped to the point like we was getting blowed out, but like it'd be a lot of close games, but like we was losing.
Right.
And a loss is a loss, especially when the motherfucker used to winning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got all this knowledge, and I've played on every level, and I know all these systems, and I'm trying to teach all this shit to these kids, and they just weren't getting it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I read it somewhere, or one of the old heads pulled me to the side. I read it somewhere, and it reminded me of something that Coach Hansen would always say to us when I was playing at Custer. But I read somewhere where a coach was like, tell parents not to ask their kid if they won, but ask them, did they have fun?
Word.
After the game. And then it reminded me of something where I think we were playing like Washington or something. And Hansen like pulled me to the side, and it was like maybe like the second game of the season. So everybody was really still out of shape. And he was like, he was telling everybody what they did. And he was like, and he pointed at me. He was like, I don't care where we at or what's going on. He was like, I need 100%.
Word.
Every play.
Word.
He said, if you give me everything you got and we lose, I can deal with that.
Right.
So I had to start conveying that to the kids, and it's like, we coming out here to have fun. And if you can give me 100% of what you got and we have fun and we lose, but we gave our all and we left everything on the field, then I can live with that. I'm not going to like it,
right?
But I can live with that. And
Jordan he would have called you a hoe.
Right. You know what, you're right. But the thing is, what I noticed is once I got the kids to understand that if you go out there and do everything you can and you give me your all, and I'm not gonna shit on you because we didn't meet the mark of a W, they played different. And they gave you their all, and they played with a whole lot more enthusiasm, and that began to switch games around. And some other shit I had to simplify shit because
you was over teaching a little bit.
I was over teaching, because I know all this shit, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna run this play, and we're gonna run this play, and it's like, Oshie used to coach the Hillside Broncos. We used to play against Oshie. I played for the Our Avenue Bandits back in the day, and Oshie was like, he's like, man, I didn't run all that shit. He was like, we ran a lot of off tackle, and we ran this and that. So I broke it down to maybe I think we had 5 plays, on offense, and we ran the shit out of 5 plays. And it was it wasn't a thing where I'm asking these kids who come from a bad neighborhood who really don't have a whole lot of time. Sometimes they missing practice. Sometimes they struggling in school. I don't know how many probably had an IEP, all kind of shit that you're not necessarily aware of.
Right.
And I'm trying to get them to learn all these complex plays. And I broke it down to a couple off tackle plays and a couple up the gut plays, and, playing to the strengths of the kids we had, and a couple pass plays. And we just ran them same 6 plays, and they begin to get comfortable. And when they start to enjoy it and have fun, then, you start to win. But I had to learn, I couldn't expect them to do this shit on the level that I did it, because, they not me. Talent isn't coachable.
Right.
Yeah. I don't care how much you practice.
You think work ethic is? I don't even think work ethic is coachable, man.
Right. You can't will somebody to will.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
You can't.
You think so? I think work
it's coachable, man.
I think so, because I think it's so maybe coachable is not
work. Well, work ethic isn't coachable, but it's something that they can pick up, but they're not going to pick it up from their coach.
Right.
They're going to pick it up from
somewhere.
They're going to pick it up from their teammates.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's something that can become contagious.
Right.
But that's because teammates, if you're really part of a team, and it's not even that your teammates hold you accountable, but you hold yourself accountable to not letting your teammates down.
That's it.
I like that. Yeah. And you know what?
But a cat like Mike can't. He ain't had the patience for that. See, now one more, in fairness to him, because I don't agree with the leadership style, but in fairness to him, these are grown men and they're professionals.
Yes.
Right.
So and you're at this elite level, which
means there ain't no patience.
Nobody who made it to the league is a real scrub.
Right.
At this point, it becomes, what I've learned is just something that gets unlocked mentally.
Yep.
And I relate this because I've been a people leader for some years now, working in this field of social services, and it's kind of the same thing where it's work ethic can come through influence. And like you said, you don't want to let your team down. Therefore, you're going to give your all. And I've always been a big proponent of culture. And I'm sure I've said that here on this podcast before. Even when I'm interviewing for jobs, I ask about the culture. I've been part of teams where one of my first leadership positions, I like to talk about this because it was one of those times where I didn't have that MJ-like confidence. I was chosen for a leadership position, and I didn't believe that I was ready. And I went back and forth. Eventually, I took the opportunity because I'm like, okay, is there really a perfect time? But I inherited a team. Where this is the way we always done it. This is what we've always done. And I had to find a way, not yelling and not being demonstrative. I mean, literally, I was younger than my entire team.
That's a problem.
And they had all been with the company for like 5 years or more. And I've only been with the company for like 2 years, bro. So I went from frontline staff.
Four of them cats felt like they should have got the job.
Yes. I leapfrogged 2 different positions to become a program manager. And the only thing that I will attribute to the success of that team, and I love that team, was one of my greatest experiences that I still draw back upon, which made me really feel that I was a leader, was because I was like, this is what we can do now, guys. I'm not your previous leader. This is what we gonna do now. And I was like, well, what's my common goal? Fine, y'all been here longer than me. Fine, y'all got more experience than me, you think. Fine, you think you're a better leader than me. Okay, our commonality was we say we love working with kids, right? So if we love working with kids, we can't be at war. Why don't we try some of these things? And if they don't work, we can come back and figure something else that works out. And it was like almost like it's not do as I say, it's do as we develop together. And that's kind of like my leadership style. And it's like we were very successful as a team because
Jordan wouldn't approve of that shit, Phil.
Right. And you know what it makes me think about? Because it makes me think about like March Madness, right? When you think about certain teams, like Duke is the first thing that comes to my head. Why is it that somehow, some way they have so many gut-wrenching game winners? It's because those student athletes or athletes, whatever you want to call them, they believe in that system so much that even when it appears impossible to everybody else, they're still so locked in that they don't quit. And I think that shit's remarkable, bro. And it's like, you know, people like to shit on sports, right? But it's like, I mean, if society
for life to me, man.
If society had as much team work ethic in mind as sports does, we would be a little bit further on as a society.
Fam, if they applied that mentality,
man.
mentality, like I said, if everybody did what you doing, would we be more successful?
Right.
If they applied the sports mentality, man, to other aspects of their life. That's why I let my kids play. Dog, the first time you touch a ball, you ain't shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know, Randy Johnson wasn't throwing 112 miles an hour when he was 7.
Right.
He wasn't shit. You
man.
Practice and you become, and the results are tangible. So you can see, man, last month I wasn't shit. This month I'm this much better. You get what I'm saying? And that's what keeps you going. What do they say when you're on a weight loss plan? Don't weigh yourself, because if you haven't lost enough weight, it'll make you quit the diet. It'll make you quit.
Oh my God, dude, that was me for so many years, bro. Fuck yeah, man.
It's like, dude, you gotta, man. I ain't shit. So you humble yourself. You take that first step toward getting better. The harder you work, the better you get faster. I mean, dog, it's. I ain't got nothing else to say about. Oh, by the way, man, before I forget, I'm gonna make sure I tell y'all, if y'all listening, if y'all gonna be at the court next week, the boy said he good now. He finna bust everybody ass.
Oh shit. Okay.
So it's gonna be a problem.
I'm gonna need a
problem.
We're gonna need a follow up. And you know what the funny thing is, you know what that reminded me of when you were telling that story? It reminded me of when Jordan and Pippen first played Kukoc.
Yeah.
Remember, he didn't play well, but then
Yep.
that second game, he dropped like 26.
Yep.
And Jordan was like, oh, shit, he can go.
He can play. Yeah.
When you were telling me that story about
Yep.
your son, I was like, okay. And, when you think about a player like Kukoc, I mean, he was a baller for real. He was not one of those scrubs in the league.
Nope.
He was important to a lot of teams that he was on.
And did you see what Kukoc said when they asked him about the game? He was like, the whole time I was thinking, man, why these motherfuckers mad at me? I ain't do shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I ain't do shit. So during the game, instead of hooping, he trying to figure out why everybody fucking with me.
Yeah.
Fuck I do.
But you know what?
I ain't even from your country, motherfucker.
Right. Like
that
you know what I'm
shit
saying?
is
Go ahead.
hard. Like
say that again, Trip.
Because that shit is hard for other motherfuckers. So like, Speak always talking about how I got moved up to VAR like freshman year. Like second game I was on VAR, and it's hard for you to concentrate on the game because it's hard for people to grasp like this motherfucker that they consider to be under them is now playing alongside them. So like, and it didn't affect me in the game, but like those first couple practices, like motherfuckers like, they just got you up here because you did. I'm really better than you. Or they only brought you up because Jabber sprung his ankle. All kind of shit. And it's like, in your head, you like, shit, is this true? Like, is this really why? And then you also like, why this motherfucker like coming for me? Like, it's like, we supposed to be on the same team. It's football.
Exactly. Yeah.
But, and then I had a week to get used to it, where it was like Kukoc was in the game and it was like
real time.
Right.
It was real time, but it's some shit like it really is like some psychological shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like I'm like after the first game, I'm like, so is this motherfucking ankle better next week? Is they gonna kick me back down?
Right.
So like, it's some shit to fuck with
that
you.
shit
But
threw you off your square a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit, but like in like defense of Jordan, you notice Jordan never coached his kids. And people always was like, why you don't coach your kids? And I remember a quote from him was like, he's like, when they're ready for me to coach them, they'll come to me. He's like, but right now, he said, what I know and what I can teach them, they're not ready for.
Wow.
And then like the thing is like I don't coach junior. My son, he plays football at his high school. I really shy away from coaching him. I tried it one time when he was playing like Pee Wee, and it was difficult for me and to do it. So like that next year, that second year, I didn't. It's difficult. Like, he's talented, and I can't force him to see his level of talent before he's ready to see it.
Facts.
So even like now, like I pick him up from practice. Like I don't really like ride him about practice. I don't ride him about the game. I ask him how the game went. Like what was his perception, and shit like that. And then I ask him, did he have fun? And I leave it at that because like, it's something where like I don't want to pressure him too hard to see what I see. And I leave that to his coach because I think the level of I don't want him to ever feel like he's disappointing me. When he doesn't have a good game.
Yeah.
Because I'm dad. Like end of the day, JG is dad.
Yeah.
And to disappoint a coach, or not necessarily disappoint a coach, but to have a bad game and have your coach say something is different than to have a bad game and like dad says something, because like you don't go home with coach, you go home with dad.
Wow, that's a good point, man.
That's
a very, very good point.
And like JG said, I just always tell him like, so this year was the first year he ended up playing center, and like it was, getting the snaps down was different,
right?
Because it's all shotgun snaps for the most part now in football, so that takes a lot of practice, and kept telling him like, work on practice and get your footing down, get your steps down, it'll come to you.
Yeah.
And I just left it at that. Like I didn't like get the ball and take them out in the middle of the field and drill them and make them snap the ball 1,000 times and all that shit, because like I don't want to be the reason that he gets discouraged in the efforts to try to encourage him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man, that's a very good point, dude. And as we get ready to close,
you think Mike gave a damn about discouraging cats speak?
Do I think he gave a damn?
Yeah.
Not
at that point in time, I think no, because I think back then, whether it be that time in life and that time in sports, it was like everything was a rite of passage. You pay your dues to get to this certain point. Like he didn't come in doing that shit as a rookie, telling them like, guys, we want to win. You can't do cocaine. He stayed in his lane as a rookie. But then once he built that, he put that sweat equity in. He's like, well, okay, motherfucker, I should have some say now.
Yep.
Which that's a whole nother dynamic as well. The way that like it's so weird, and we don't talk about this enough. It seems like he became so good at the game of basketball that he began to look at the game outside of the game on the court, where I saw that rift between him and ownership is because it's like, okay, fam, like we did do this together, but it doesn't matter how smart you guys are. You can't do it without what I'm doing on the court.
Right.
You need me. And, a lot of times fans want to criticize star players for having say-so and X, Y, and Z, but, and I'm sure it probably happened before Jordan, but
oh, hell yeah.
It makes me think like, that's not, and I remember when I was younger, a little bit more naive, I thought that was a bad thing. But I think the way that he saw the game was at such a high level that he was like, no, the organization also has to have its house in order for us to be successful as a franchise. And it was like, he saw the game from that angle. That's difficult, bro. Like, not that many people can do that. Not that many people can see, yes, this shit on the court translates to big business and all those other things. And that's why it seems like they talk about, like, trust me, he ended up getting his money. He ended up getting his just due.
Yeah,
they said
not while he was playing, but
they say the same thing about Pip. Like, Pip got his money. Like, he had some fucked up deals, but he got his money, man. So it's like,
in the end, he did. Yeah, Mike had these 2 1-year $30+ million deals. Scotty got like $100 million when he left Chicago.
Yeah, man.
But, dog, remember when Mike retired? The motherfucking Dow Jones crashed. That shit had an effect on the entire economy in the country.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So no, it definitely was big business, and he saw that shit even then. But
and even with even when I think about what happened, think about the pressure they put on LeBron. They said, think about what you leaving Cleveland would do to the economy in Ohio.
And it did.
And the thing is, like, that weighed on his conscience. Like, he could have won more rings in Miami.
Yep.
But it's like he literally, that weighed on his conscience so much. And maybe he always knew he was going to come back. I don't know.
Right.
Shit, I don't know. But it also shows when he came back what happened to that economy.
Yeah.
It's amazing to be able to, and then we, as we bring it to a close, I'll start with my last thoughts. And I think when it comes to, like, all this stuff that's not related is related, because when it comes to conditions and when it comes to love, it's the love for the art, it's the love for the game.
Yep.
And it's about the work that you put towards it. And I think at the end of the day, even how we move,
we got our 5th member on the podcast.
Right. At the end of the day, how we move is still important. If we don't move as a unit, as a podcast, this shit ain't fun. Right. We won't want to do this. Like, I was looking at analytics, and I'm like, yo, I almost got into that mode. Yo, we can do this, we can do that. Dude, I started typing up ideas and notes, and I was like, no, stop. Fuck that shit. At the end of the day, we got to do what we do and keep doing it our way.
Right.
And the success is what we get from this, and then what we offer to people that are tuning in. So whether that be 10, whether that be 10,000, whether that be 10 million, we're not going to fucking change. when we get a big deal and we're signed to this network and this streaming platform, I will still be in a robe and a Kango, nigga.
That's fact. And the do-rag and maybe
You know
some sunglasses and shit.
Yeah. So Trip, I'm past the baton to you, fam. What are your last words for the people?
WWTD.
Okay.
What would Takashi do?
Oh,
This nigga here.
you gotta send us like a warning.
Hell no.
You gotta send us like a warning, dude.
Shots fired.
I knew it was gonna be. I just knew it was Trip. I knew it was gonna be Trip.
Oh my god! The
That
funny
motherfucker
thing
said
is,
Tekashi.
I was like, okay, if I hit Trip with it right away, we might get the same response that we did at the intro of the podcast.
Man, straight up.
That's
none.
awesome. That's awesome. All right,
Uh,
Dima, what you got for the people?
Continue with your unconditional love and practice that conditional love.
facts.
Nice. I like that. I like
that
that. All right, JG, what you got for the people?
I don't give a fuck about Wisconsin opening back up. Stay your ass 6 feet away from me.
Word.
If you cough or sneeze, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be on the news saying, I just heard punches and a motherfucker screaming, I got allergies. You know what I'm saying? Like, fam, just, hey, fam. I can't believe motherfuckers just say, you know what? I'm tired of being at the crib. Ain't no virus.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still blown away by that shit, fam.
Bro.
But you know what? Even with the Supreme Court overturning this shit here, a lot of local business owners said, "Fuck you."
Yep.
We not opening.
We not
Okay.
open.
Okay.
You know,
That's good to know.
This that, fam. And to all the dads of teenage boys,
Mm-hmm.
try to remember that they're closer to being a man than they are to being a kid.
Word.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
like that.
And sometimes you're gonna have to humble yourself and talk to him like that.
Yeah.
So I actually apologized to my boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, you know what, man? I respect the fact that you found a way to respectfully get your point across.
Yes.
But you made it a point to get your point across.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? I got no choice but to consider that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's because y'all raised him right. And the thing is, he actually did what you know, and your queen have taught him. That's exactly what he did.
That's it.
And that's, you know.
You feel like you're right, stand the fuck up.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's it.
That's real.
Stand the fuck up. So, yeah, I'll just say that, dads, man. You know what, man? If you're still talking to him like he's 8 years old and he's 16, 17, you're going to lose that boy. Because you think about it. The law says I have to have a relationship with him now.
Right.
When he turns 18, he says if I have a relationship with him.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
I'm saying, man, remember that shit? Or you be walking around talking about when my boy used to come around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Feel you. I like it. And that's a great note to end, man. So again, this has been episode 29. Great fucking podcast. Great show, man. Really appreciate this.
Good topics, man.
And as always, episode 29, we couldn't care less, but we fucking love y'all. Peace.
Melodrama.
Man, I thought that love shit was gonna be kind of whack, fam. I was ready to say pause about 8 times and shit. Then it didn't even go that way.
No, man, I think, but that's because I knew he was gonna keep it all the way real. That's the thing. I knew he was gonna keep it all the way real. So it's like, you know, and we're not afraid to have real conversations.
No, hell no.
Right.
Hell no. Or repercussions. I don't give a damn about a Twitter drag.
Right. If we were nervous or insecure,
I got canceled, dog. They canceled.